Hey guys, Horrorman back for another review. So today we have something a little bit different. Recently, NECA has decided to go into the action figure display options, I guess you could say, and they have come out with something called headstands. So they're basically somewhere to put these different heads that you might display on your shelf, or you might just have them in a big bag like I do. What's cool about this is, you can display them like this if you want to, but it just doesn't look quite as cool and doesn't really showcase the head sculpts as nifty as you could. Also, they fall over pretty simply. So NECA actually had a contest recently called Head Case, where you would basically take a picture of some different head sculpts that you have over the years or whatever, and just kind of display them and take a photo of them. So I actually won that contest on Instagram, and they actually sent me a free sample of these new headstands. So they're pretty cool. They come in the same packaging we pretty much see with most of the NECA stuff at this point. Alright, and just looking at this packaging, it just says NECA action figure headstands. You do have some warnings on here. Just a cool little like grid backdrop, kind of looks like a window. And then for the back, you just see the same NECA action figure stands UPC code, and then it just gives you a little description about why you should think about getting these little headstands. And then you just see a little diagram with how the head would mount onto there. And you see the little NECA logo at the bottom, and then nothing on the top or the bottom here. So pretty cool. It is going to come in a more sealed blister card, so you do have to cut this open. Alright, so let's just get these out of the package and get a closer look. Okay, so as soon as you get this out of the packaging, it just comes on a nice little tray just like this. So you get, again, 3 of the identical stands, and then 5 different connections for each one. So each head has a different size peg that goes in it, and you're just going to kind of figure out what size you need. Now the stand itself is pretty simple. It's just thick black plastic, no problem with standing. It's like the main thing it has to do besides hold something. So yeah, it stands really well, no worries there. And it actually has a nice hefty weight to it. It's not too heavy, not too loose, but it's definitely not going to fall over very easily. And then to get the actual head off of here, you just have to twist it to the right, and then it just pulls out. And it's just this little fitting on here. It's fairly simple, and then what you do is just take the flat part, put like the longer flat part, plug that in, and then you just twist it to the left, and it just locks right in there. So yeah, fairly simple. Now the one that actually comes on it is the biggest size, and I can't seem to find a NECA head sculpt for this one, but I have found that the Marvel Legends work pretty good. You can see Wolverine is on here. So that's what I've used for the biggest head sculpt. And again, these are for other companies too. It's not just for NECA. So you can fit, different figure companies' head sculpts on here. Okay, and for the ball peg, you will get 3 different sizes. You get a small, medium, and large. And again, this large one seemed to work pretty good with the Marvel Legends. So I'm going to try the medium one out and then see what I can get to fit on here. Alright, so for the medium ball peg, I was able to get the interchangeable head for Sam from Trick or Treat on there, and it looks really cool. I mean, I really honestly love this head sculpt. I've always thought it was like really detailed and, super awesome. But the problem I have with it is just, for Sam, the real cool face to put on him is like the sack mask. So I've never really had a reason to kind of display this. But since I have the stand, now I can just put this next to Sam, and it looks really cool. I mean, now I can actually show off the different, interchangeable head that comes with him, instead of just laying him on a shelf or just putting him away for, Lord knows how long. So it looks really cool. So let's check out the small ball peg. Okay, and for the small ball peg, I was able to get a Terminator T1000 interchangeable head sculpt on, and it seems to fit pretty good on here. Now he's a little bit more loose, so I probably could have put him on possibly another one, but it seems to be pretty good on here. And you know the T1000 has multiple interchangeable head sculpts, so this is a really good one. A lot of the Marvel Legends seem to fit pretty good on that biggest ball peg, but some of them are still kind of small with the pegs, and this Gwen head seems to fit pretty good on the small ball peg as well. So if you want to display her with the mask and then have this sitting next to her, seems to work pretty good. Okay, and besides the ball pegs, you'll also get this straight bar, and then you're going to get two different sizes. You get one that's a little thinner and one that's a little bit thicker. Now with the thicker one, it's worth noting that it actually has like an angle to it. I thought this was actually adjustable, but it's actually made that way. So it's supposed to be kind of at an angle, and then this one's just a straight bar. So we'll go ahead and check out some different head sculpts. Now mostly these are going to be NECA, because a lot of these newer NECA ones are using this straight bar system. So we'll go ahead and check this out now. Okay, so like I said, with this straight bar, you're definitely going to use this for mainly NECA figures, and this is going to be the thinner bar first. Now with this Freddy head, it's pretty loose, so it'll just fall right off here, but that's not going to be the same for all the other heads. So if you get rid of Freddy here, and you use the Frank from Donnie Darko, he fits fine. He's not going to fall off here, so he fits perfect. So they're all going to be a little bit different fit. So then you have the Predator, which Predator's a little loose on here. I might try him in a thicker one, but they're kind of like some of these are kind of in between. They're kind of not quite thick enough or big enough of a hole for this thicker peg. So you really have to kind of play with this and see what fits best. Here's the Sarah Connor. There's another Sarah Connor. And what I like about this is that the hair is longer on her head sculpts, but this like post is long enough to where you not have to worry about anything, because there's no way you could display this on a shelf. I mean, it's not happening. And then here's Pops from the Terminator Genesis, and he should peg in here. And like I said, some of these are really snug. Like this one, I'm having a difficulty even putting on, but once you get it on, I mean, it fits perfect. It's not going to go anywhere. And then just for the last one, here's one of the another Ultimate Freddy one, and again, he's a little bit loose on here. So the fit's kind of like hot and cold. Like they're really good. Some of them don't fit perfect, but you only get 3 of these. You're not going to be able to display all the heads you have. But for the most part, I think the fit's pretty good. Okay, and for the last one, you do have a thicker post, and again, this is made to where it's like on an angle. And the good news is I actually tried the Predator one on here, and it's definitely meant for that thicker stand, which makes sense. Sometimes you can't tell just by looking at the hole underneath the head sculpt. You really gotta just try it out, but it fits pretty good, and I really like this because I have a lot of different Predator head sculpts, so I'm gonna use one of these for that for sure. And then you have like the Jason with the sack mask, and again, here's like a little bit of a difficult one. It just doesn't fit perfect. You have to kind of play with it a little bit, but after you get it upside down, it's holding on, so pretty cool fit. And then the last one, I would say if you display Jason without the mask, the hockey mask, you could display that one on here as well. And I think that's about it. Oh, there's also a older Freddy, the remake. And again, this is another one. You have to kind of play around with this a little bit. This would probably work better with the peg. But, you still can put it on here. Just, if you don't feel like changing out the pegs constantly, it seems like anything will work. As long as you can get it to fit on here, go for it. And then for the Mego head sculpts, I went with the medium-sized ball peg, and that seemed to work pretty good. I had to jam it on there just a little bit, but once you get it on, it does seem to hold. Now, one downside with some of these older cult classics NECA toys, they're actually not compatible with the NECA stands. So that is a one downside about these figures, like the Michael from Lost Boys on the right here, and then the Part 2 Jason. They actually have the peg inside of the neck, and that is non-removable. Even if you did take it out, it would probably be a weird piece, especially on that Jason. It's kind of like a rectangular piece. So yeah, that is one downside to this, because these are great figures, really old, but you're not going to be able to display these on those headstands, unfortunately. Okay, so after you have all the three stands working correctly, this is how you can display them. And I think this is really cool and very clean looking. You know, when NECA does those conventions like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Toy Fair, they always kind of like to display the figure with the additional head sculpts. So I think this is really cool, and it kind of takes your collection to the next step. And it's also kind of nice because you can keep track of where the different heads are. Thanks again for sending these out to me. I really appreciate it. So thanks NECA for sending these out. And then if you have any questions, if you want me to try out any other different head sculpts, I do have some other things like Star Wars Black Series and other figures. So if you want me to test those out on these, go ahead and leave a comment, and then I'll just go ahead and see if I can get these to fit. Hopefully I'll have the figure that you're requesting. So thanks for watching my review. Please like the video, please subscribe, and until next time, guys, see ya.